Hello, my dear friend. It is so good to see you today. Pull up a chair and let us just chat for a while. Today, I want to talk about something that sounds a bit cold and technical. We hear these words like mutual funds, index funds, and ETFs. They get thrown around a lot in the news and on social media. It can feel like everyone else knows exactly what they are doing while we are just trying to keep our heads above water. If you feel a bit confused, please know that you are not alone. Actually, a lot of people mix them up, even people who have been working in finance for years. I will tell you a little secret. I actually have a degree in finance, but I did not even learn this practical stuff in school. The textbooks were full of math and theories, but they never really taught me how these things feel in real life. When I first started out, I put my money into ETFs because that is what everyone was talking about. I learned later on that ETFs did not have this one really important feature that I wanted for my life. It was a feature that helped me stay disciplined without having to think about it. So I had to go through the hassle of switching over to index funds. It was a bit of a headache, and I really want to save you that trouble. I want to share everything I learned with you so that you can feel informed and calm before you make any choices. If you want to understand the heartbeat of these three options and see which one feels right for your journey, let us just walk through it together. Before we dive deep, if you find these quiet chats helpful, maybe consider joining our little community here. We talk about money as a way to care for ourselves and our futures. Now let us start with mutual funds because they have been around the longest. They are like the grandparents of the investing world. Mutual funds came way before index funds and ETFs. Apparently they started way back in the 1800s. The idea was actually quite beautiful. It was a way for a bunch of regular people to pool their money together. They realized that alone they might not have enough to buy a wide variety of stocks, but together they could act as one big entity. Mutual funds offer three major benefits that still matter today. The first is pure convenience. Think of a mutual fund like a pre-packaged basket of groceries. Instead of going to 20 different farms to buy apples and bread and milk, you just buy the basket. By investing in a mutual fund, you get to own a tiny piece of many different companies all in one easy package. One single fund could have hundreds of different stocks in it, but you only have to make one purchase. Imagine a world without this. If you wanted 100 different stocks, you would have to click a buy button 100 times. You would pay fees 100 times. It would be such a drain on your time and energy. Who has the patience for that? The second benefit is diversification. This is just a fancy word for not putting all your eggs in one basket. We all know that life is unpredictable. Companies can have bad years or even disappear. If you put all your money in just one company and it crashes, that hurts a lot. But when you spread your money across 90 or 100 different stocks, if one of them has a bad day, the others are there to hold you up. It gives you a cushion. It lets you sleep better at night. The third benefit is that these funds are managed by professionals. Instead of you spending your weekends reading financial reports, you have someone who is paid to pick the stocks for you. Now this sounds great on paper, but this is where we have to be a little careful. Professional management comes with a price tag, and sometimes that price is quite high when a person is actively picking stocks to try and beat the market. We call that active management. These professionals usually charge an annual fee of maybe 1 or 2% of your balance. At first glance, 1% might seem small, like a tiny drop in the ocean, but let us think about it. If you have $10,000, $200 goes straight to the manager every single year. The part that feels a bit unfair is that they take that money even if your account goes down. You could literally lose money on your investments. And the fund manager still gets their big paycheck. It is like paying a chef for a meal that you did not even enjoy. Over 30 or 40 years, those small percentages eat away at your future. They can take away hundreds of thousands of dollars from your retirement nest egg. This is why a lot of people feel that traditional mutual funds are not the best deal anymore. This brings us to the hero of our story, the index fund. There was a man named Jack Bogle who saw how these fees were hurting regular people. He wanted to create something kinder and simpler, so he invented the index fund in the 1970s. It completely changed the game. Unlike traditional mutual funds, index funds are passively managed. This means there is no expensive manager trying to be a genius. Instead, the fund just follows a simple fixed formula. It tracks what we call an index. An index is just a list of companies that represent the market, like the S&P 500, which is a list of the 500 largest companies in the country, since the fund just automatically buys whatever is on that list. There is no need for a high-priced professional. The fees drop from 1 or 2% down to almost nothing. Some index funds charge as little as 0.04%. It is like paying for the cost of a cup of coffee once a year to manage your entire fortune. It is a way of doing less to achieve more. It is a beautiful example of making life simpler. Now, I should mention that an index fund is actually a type of mutual fund. It is just a much cheaper and more honest version of one. If you look at a fund name and it says index, you know it is following a formula rather than a person's ego. Now let us talk about the third member of the family, the ETF. This stands for Exchange Traded Fund. These showed up about 15 years after index funds. ETFs and index funds are actually very similar under the hood. They both usually track an index and they both have very low fees. But there is one big difference in how they feel to use. With an index fund, you can only buy or sell your shares once a day after the market closes. It is a slow and steady process, but ETFs are traded on the stock exchange just like individual stocks. This means you can buy and sell them every second the market is open. You can watch the price flicker up and down on your phone all day long. A lot of people think this flexibility is a good thing, but I want to be honest with you based on my own experience. Sometimes too much freedom can lead to anxiety. Being able to trade every second can turn investing into a bit of a game or even a gamble. When we see the price drop 10 cents, we might feel a sudden urge to sell out of fear. When we see it go up, we might get greedy. This constant flickering of numbers can disturb our peace of mind. The magic of investing is actually in the waiting. It is about buying something good and then going out to enjoy your life, tending to your garden, drinking tea with friends, and letting your money work quietly in the background. The Tiefenjahrse tradability of an ETF can be a temptation that we just do not need. This is why I eventually moved back to index funds. There is also a very practical reason that I love index funds, and it is called automatic reinvestment. This was the feature I missed so much when I was using ETFs. With an index fund, I can tell the bank to take a small amount of money from my paycheck every month automatically. It just goes straight into the fund without me doing anything. I do not have to log in, I do not have to look at the market, I do not have to pay a commission each time. It is a silent, invisible habit that builds my future while I am busy living my life. Most ETFs do not make this as easy. Often you have to log in and manually click buy every single time you want to add money. That creates a friction point where you might decide to skip a month because you are feeling tired or stressed. Index funds remove that choice and keep you on the right path. So if we look at them side by side, mutual funds are the old way, often too expensive because of human managers. Index funds are the peaceful way, low cost, and very easy to automate. ETFs are the flexible way, also low cost, but they require more manual work and can be a bit distracting. For most of us who just want to build a secure future and get on with our day, the simplicity of a low-cost index fund is like a warm blanket. It does the job and it does not ask for much attention. I know that talking about money can sometimes make our chests feel a bit tight. We worry if we are doing the right thing or if we are falling behind. But please remember that the best investment is one that you can stick with for a long time. It is not about being the smartest person in the room. It is about being the most patient and the most kind to your future self. We are just trying to create a little more room to breathe. If you have a choice between these three, think about your own temperament. Do you want something you can set and forget, or do you want something you can watch closely? There is no wrong answer, but for me, doing less has always led to more happiness. I hope this little breakdown makes you feel a bit more confident. You do not need a finance degree to be good at this. You just need to understand the basic spirit of where your money is going. Always remember that DTI is just a way of caring for your life. It is a gentle way of saying to yourself that you deserve to be okay. If you have any questions about these differences, please just leave a comment below. I read them and I truly care about your journey. We can talk through it together, like old friends. You can also find me on Instagram if you want to see more of my daily life and thoughts. Thank you for spending this time with me. It means the world to have you here in this quiet space. Take a deep breath. Know that you are doing your best, and I will see you in the next video. Keep going after your dreams quietly and steadily. Live life on your own terms, and be gentle with yourself today. Goodbye for now. Take care of your heart and your future. It is all going to be okay. Just keep walking forward one step at a time. The sun will rise, and your efforts will grow. See you very soon.